Scientists found a spaceship buried in Arctic ice. What they saw inside shocked everyone. Alex Carter pulled his scarf tighter around his face and adjusted the heavy goggles that protected his eyes. The sun barely rose above the horizon, casting a pale orange glow over the frozen expanse. He had been here before, but the strange readings that brought him this far felt unlike anything he had ever encountered. Something was beneath the ice, and Alex could feel it in his bones. He looked over at his team. Emma Brooks, the geologist, was examining a large chunk of ice, her gloved hands carefully brushing away the snow. Her face was serious, and her breath came out in small, visible clouds. She was the first to spot something unusual during their early scans. The ice around them was different from the surrounding layers. It contained dense metallic fragments, and magnetic anomalies shimmered faintly on their instruments. "Alex, you need to see this," Emma called. Her voice carried over the wind, steady and calm, but there was an edge of excitement. Alex hurried over, stepping carefully on the icy surface, each footfall crunching sharply in the quiet cold. Emma had set up a small drill and was now holding a clear ice core in her gloved hands. Small metallic particles glittered inside the transparent cylinder. Alex squinted at the core. "This isn't just metal, it looks organized. Like it was made, not natural." He paused, looking around at the white, empty landscape. "Could it be a meteorite buried here?" Emma shook her head. "Meteorites don't usually contain materials arranged like this, and the magnetic readings are off the charts. Something is buried under the ice, and it's huge, much larger than we thought." The team fell silent for a moment, letting the wind carry their words away. The idea of finding something so strange in the Arctic was thrilling, but also terrifying. Most people imagine the Arctic as a place of isolation, of frozen silence. Now, beneath the ice, there might be something that no human had ever seen. Alex turned to the rest of the team. There was John Miller, the engineer, who was busy setting up the drilling equipment. Lisa Grant, the systems analyst, checking readings on her tablet. Kevin Ross, the surveyor, carefully plotting the site. And a few others who had joined for the expedition, each bringing their own skills. They were a small team, chosen for their ability to work under extreme conditions. "This could change everything," Alex said quietly. "We need to be careful, but we also need to see it for ourselves. Let's start drilling deeper." The drill started to hum, and soon a column of ice was lifted from the frozen ground. The team worked in silence, focused, their breaths forming small clouds that quickly disappeared in the icy wind. Hours passed. The sun moved slowly across the sky, and the cold grew sharper. Yet each drill revealed more clues. By late afternoon, the drill hit something solid, but it didn't sound like ice or rock. The team stopped immediately. Alex touched the drill carefully. It was smooth, hard, and cold, but it did not feel like any metal he had ever known. It was different, almost alive in a strange way. "Everyone step back," Alex instructed. "This could be dangerous. We don't know what we are dealing with." The team obeyed, forming a small circle around the drill site. Emma bent down and brushed away the snow. A smooth, curved surface emerged, glinting faintly in the weak sunlight. It was enormous. The curvature suggested a shape far larger than any aircraft or submarine they had studied. The ice surrounding it was thick, yet the outline of this object was clear. John whistled softly. "That is not human-made, not by anything on Earth," Emma nodded. "And it's old, very old. The ice around it must have been there for thousands of years." Kevin checked the instruments again. "Magnetic anomalies are off the charts. This thing has energy. I don't know what kind, but it's still alive in some way." Alex stared at the emerging object, feeling a mix of awe and fear. It was a spaceship. He couldn't be sure yet, but the shape, the materials, and the readings all pointed to one thing, something not from this world. The team spent the night working in shifts, carefully clearing the snow and ice. The Arctic night was long and dark, the sky filled with stars that sparkled like tiny diamonds. Aurora lights danced faintly in the distance, green and violet ribbons across the sky. The frozen world felt eternal and quiet, yet beneath their feet lay something that could change humanity forever. By morning, a large section of the ship was visible. Its hull was smooth and dark, unlike any metal Alex had ever studied. It seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. There were markings along the surface, but they did not resemble any known human language or symbols. The lines were curved, flowing, and intricate, almost like they were alive. Lisa walked along the hull, her fingers lightly brushing the surface. "It's intelligent," she said softly. "Not in the way we are, but it's as if the ship itself understands it is being observed." Alex looked closely at the markings. They did not make sense at first, but there was a rhythm to them, a repeated pattern that suggested meaning. "It's like a message," he said, "or instructions. Someone wanted to be understood eventually." The team debated how to open the ship. They could not just break it open, not with this unknown technology. They tried small probes, scans, and gentle taps, but the hull remained unyielding. Then, unexpectedly, a panel slid open silently, revealing a narrow entryway. The team froze. It was as if the ship had chosen to open for them. Alex looked around at their astonished faces. "It's inviting us in," he whispered. Emma stepped forward first, her geologist's curiosity stronger than fear. She felt the warmth of the air coming from the ship. It was unlike the cold Arctic wind outside. Inside, the light was soft and welcoming, yet alien. Smooth walls reflected faint glows, and the corridors seemed to adjust their shape as they entered. Kevin followed, his survey instruments scanning constantly. "The energy readings are stable," he said. "No radiation spikes, nothing harmful so far." As they moved deeper, they noticed something strange. The ship's interior was shaped like nothing human. There were no corners, no sharp edges. Everything flowed smoothly, almost organically. Small panels lit up under their touch, responding to their movements. It was as if the ship itself was alive, observing, and interacting with them. Alex felt a shiver run down his spine. "We need to document everything," he said. "Every detail. This is history, but it's also bigger than history." Emma discovered what looked like a control center with symbols glowing faintly on a wall. John tried to access them using his laptop, but it was no use. The technology was far beyond anything Earth had developed, yet surprisingly it responded to human touch in certain areas. It was designed to be understood slowly, patiently. Hours passed, and the team explored the corridors, documenting everything. Lisa noticed something remarkable. The ship's energy seemed to react to their emotions and intentions. When they moved carefully, the ship lit up gently. When they hesitated or argued, lights dimmed or flickered. It was as if the vessel could sense them. By late evening, they reached a central chamber. It was vast, circular, and filled with strange holographic symbols floating in the air. The symbols moved, rearranged themselves, and seemed to form patterns that were almost readable. Alex realized that the ship was communicating, not in words, but in ideas. "This is not just a ship," he said, voice barely above a whisper. "It's a message, a library, a guide. Someone left this for us or for someone like us." Emma nodded. "And we're the first to find it. We don't even know how long it's been here, waiting." The team spent the night in awe, barely sleeping. They took turns observing the ship, documenting every detail and trying to understand its design. Outside, the Arctic winds howled, but inside, the air was calm and warm. For the first time in history, humans were walking inside something completely alien, yet perfectly made for them to explore. By morning, the full scale of the discovery was clear. The ship was enormous, stretching hundreds of meters in length, hidden beneath the ice for thousands of years. It had survived natural disasters, glacial shifts, and the passage of time. Its existence suggested knowledge, technology, and intelligence far beyond human understanding. Alex stood at the entrance, looking out at the endless Arctic landscape. He knew that what they had found would change everything. History, science, even humanity's place in the universe. It would all be seen differently now. But he also knew one thing: this was only the beginning. The ship had many secrets, and they had only just begun to uncover them. He turned back to his team, their faces pale from excitement, awe, and exhaustion. "This is bigger than any of us imagined," he said. "We need to be patient, careful, and ready for anything. The real discovery starts now." And with that, the team stepped deeper into the ship, leaving the frozen world outside behind. The deeper the team went into the ship, the more they felt as if the rules of the world outside no longer applied. The cold Arctic wind was replaced by air that was warm, clean, and somehow comforting. The walls were smooth and slightly reflective, but not like a mirror. They seemed alive, almost like they were breathing softly. Alex Carter walked carefully, feeling the weight of the discovery pressing on him. Every step brought new questions, and every corner revealed something unfamiliar. Emma Brooks ran her gloved fingers along one of the walls. "It's like it's made of one continuous material," she said, her voice full of wonder. There are no seams, no bolts, nothing that shows how it was built. It's perfect. John Miller, the engineer, was busy scanning the walls and floors with his portable device. It reacts to our movements, he said. See how the panel lights up when I approach, and it dims when I step back. The ship is sensing us. Lisa Grant checked her tablet, tracking the energy readings. The power source is incredible. It's constant, stable, and clean. No fuel, no exhaust, nothing we recognize. It's like the ship generates its own energy, maybe even from the environment itself. Kevin Ross moved ahead cautiously, measuring distances and taking notes. The corridors are changing slightly as we move, he said. It's subtle, but the ship is not static. It adapts. It seems alive in a way that we can feel but can't touch. Alex nodded. It's not just a ship, it's something more. We have to remember that, and we need to document everything. This is history in the making. As they turned a corner, they entered a large chamber. The ceiling was impossibly high, arched like the inside of a cathedral, but without sharp edges. Lights glowed softly along the curves of the walls, illuminating strange panels covered in flowing symbols. The symbols moved slightly like liquid ink drifting in water. The team stopped, staring. "This is incredible," Emma whispered. "It's like the walls themselves are alive." Alex stepped closer to the panels. "Or maybe they are listening, watching, I don't know. But they respond to us. Look." He waved his hand near a cluster of symbols, and they separated into smaller, clear shapes, forming patterns that almost seemed readable. John leaned in, fascinated. "It's a language, but not like any language we know, more like ideas, concepts." "Emotions." Lisa studied the patterns closely. "It reacts to our thoughts, maybe even our intentions. When we touch certain areas, it lights up differently. It's as if it knows what we are thinking." The team moved slowly, careful not to disturb anything. Kevin noticed a small platform in the center of the chamber. It had no obvious buttons or switches, just a smooth surface with faint, glowing lines. "Should we try it?" he asked. Alex hesitated. "We need to be careful, but we also need to understand. Step lightly. See what happens." Kevin placed his hand gently on the platform. Instantly, a soft hum filled the room and the walls glowed brighter. Holographic images appeared, floating in the air. They were three-dimensional, translucent, and constantly shifting. At first, the images were abstract, spirals, flowing shapes, and moving light. Then they began to take form, stars, planets, and strange structures that seemed both familiar and alien. Emma gasped. "It's showing the galaxy and something else, something we don't recognize." John's eyes widened. "This is advanced beyond anything we could imagine. It's a map, but not just a map. Maybe a record of where this ship has been or where others have gone." Lisa reached out, her fingers passing through the images without touching anything solid. "The ship wants us to see this. It's teaching us or maybe sharing information, but we don't know why." Alex took a step back, observing the team. "It's responding to us. That means it was designed for someone like us, maybe humans or something very similar. We have to remember that. This is not a random artifact. It's meant to be discovered by the right species at the right time." Hours passed as they explored the chamber. The holographic images changed and shifted, showing technology that was impossible by today's standards, yet somehow understandable. There were structures that floated without support, vehicles that moved with no visible engines, and energy systems that seemed to draw from nothing. The team struggled to comprehend it, but slowly, piece by piece, they began to understand the basic principles. Kevin noticed a corridor leading deeper into the ship. "I think there's more. The energy readings are stronger this way. It's like the ship is leading us somewhere." Alex nodded. "Then we follow, carefully. Everyone stay close. We don't know what's ahead." The next corridor was narrower but still smooth and flowing. The walls pulsed faintly as if the ship's energy was flowing like blood through veins. Small symbols appeared along the walls, almost like a guide. Emma studied them closely. "They're showing us a path. Not a map of the stars, but a path through the ship. It's guiding us." John touched one of the symbols, and a hidden panel slid open, revealing a small compartment filled with strange devices. "Look at this," he said. "Some kind of tools or instruments, but not human. The materials are unfamiliar, but the shapes suggest they were made to be used by hands like ours." Lisa picked up one of the devices, holding it carefully. "It's light, almost weightless. The surface changes texture when you touch it. It reacts to pressure and temperature." "This is incredible." Alex studied the tools, realizing they were designed for problem solving. The ship is giving us the means to understand it. It's not just a machine, it's a teacher. As they moved further, the corridors opened into another large chamber. This one was darker, with walls that shimmered like liquid metal. The team noticed a central platform, larger than the one before. Symbols floated above it, forming a circle of light. When Alex stepped closer, the symbols rearranged themselves, creating patterns that seemed familiar, almost like instructions. Emma's eyes widened. It's a lab or a workroom. The ship expects us to experiment, to learn, to solve problems. John studied the platform carefully. It's like a simulation system. We interact, it responds, and we learn. Everything here is designed to teach us if we can figure it out. Lisa nodded. And it's intuitive. It responds to our actions, our thoughts, even our mistakes. It's learning from us as we learn from it. The team spent hours experimenting. They discovered that by pressing certain symbols in specific sequences, small holographic models appeared. These models demonstrated physics principles, energy flows, and construction techniques far beyond anything Earth had developed. Even simple interactions created new insights. The team was overwhelmed but exhilarated. Kevin noticed a small compartment at the edge of the chamber. He opened it carefully, revealing a series of holographic discs. These look like archives, records of some kind. Alex activated one, and a holographic figure appeared. It was humanoid in shape, but clearly alien, with flowing features and luminous eyes. The figure spoke in symbols that slowly translated into ideas in their minds. It explained, without words, concepts about energy, survival, and adaptation. Emma gasped. It's teaching us about the universe and ourselves. It knows who we are and what we need to learn. John shivered. We're not just exploring a ship, we're exploring a legacy. Someone left this for us, for humanity, maybe for the species that could survive and thrive in the galaxy. Lisa studied the holographic figure. It's showing evolution, history, technology, and survival, and it's showing that humans have the potential to reach this level. That's why the ship opened for us. It was waiting for us to be ready. Alex felt a mixture of pride and fear, pride that humanity had been chosen and fear of the responsibility that came with such knowledge. We need to be careful. What we learn here could change everything on Earth. We must understand it fully before we share it. As they continued to explore, they realized that the ship was much larger than they had imagined. There were multiple chambers, each with its own purpose, from teaching and research to energy management and simulations. The ship was a library, a laboratory, and a mentor all in one. Hours turned into days as the team documented everything, experimented with the devices, and learned from the holographic archives. They began to understand the principles behind the ship's energy systems, its adaptive architecture, and even its communication methods. The knowledge was overwhelming, but their minds were sharp, and they were determined to learn everything. One evening, as the Arctic sun dipped low, casting long shadows inside the ship, Alex stood in the central chamber, watching the holographic symbols float and shift. He realized something important. This was not just a discovery. This was a test. The ship had been waiting for a species capable of curiosity, patience, and problem-solving, and humanity had passed the first stage. Emma approached him quietly. "Do you think we're ready for what's next?" she asked. Alex looked at the glowing symbols and the floating holograms. "I don't know," he admitted, "but I think the ship will guide us, and we have to trust that. Whatever comes next, it's bigger than anything we've faced before." As night fell over the Arctic, the ship continued to hum softly, alive and waiting. Inside, the team prepared for the next stage of discovery, unaware of the full scope of the knowledge and secrets that lay ahead. They had found a gift, a challenge, and a teacher, all in one. And humanity's journey into the stars was only beginning. The team had settled into a rhythm inside the ship. Each day brought new discoveries, new mysteries, and more questions than answers. Alex Carter woke early, even though there was no sunrise to wake him. The ship itself seemed to pulse with energy, and he felt it, a soft vibration beneath his feet. He looked around at the others as they prepared for another day of exploration. Emma Brooks was checking the holographic panels, adjusting the devices that mapped the ship. John Miller was calibrating sensors, while Lisa Grant studied energy readings. Kevin Ross moved through the corridors, noting every curve, every glowing symbol. Alex felt a sense of awe mixed with responsibility. This was no ordinary discovery. The ship was not just a relic of an ancient civilization. It was alive in a way humans had never seen. It reacted to them, taught them, and guided them. And the more they learned, the more it became clear that it had a purpose. As the team entered one of the larger chambers, they noticed the air felt different. It was warmer and somehow heavier, as if the ship was concentrating energy in that area. Holographic symbols floated above a central platform, shifting slowly. The symbols formed patterns, then letters, then images. They were slowly beginning to understand the ship's language, not with words, but with ideas. "This one is different," Emma said. "It's more complex. It's showing multiple layers at once. History, technology, biology, all in one display." Alex stepped closer, watching the holographic images change. He saw what looked like a map of the galaxy, dotted with lights that represented civilizations. Some of the lights were bright and steady, others flickered or were dim. The flickering ones seemed to vanish, leaving empty spaces. Lisa studied the display. "It's showing civilizations that survived and ones that failed. The ship is teaching us, warning us. Survival is not guaranteed. Even advanced species can disappear if they are not careful." John leaned in, pointing at a cluster of lights near a small star system. "Look at this one. It's like the ship is highlighting them for a reason. Maybe they succeeded, or maybe they influenced humanity." Emma shook her head. "I think it's more than that. These might be species that the creators of this ship considered important, and we're seeing why humans were chosen. We adapt, we survive, maybe that's why the ship opened for us." Alex felt a chill run down his spine. "So we're not here by accident, we're being tested. And somehow we passed the first stage. That's why it's revealing more to us now." The team moved deeper into the chamber, noticing smaller platforms around the edges. Each platform had its own holographic display, showing detailed knowledge about technology, energy, and biology. Some of the images showed devices that seemed impossible: engines without fuel, energy beams that could move objects, structures that floated in space without support. The ship's technology was advanced, yet somehow designed to be understood by humans. Kevin examined one of the platforms closely. "It's almost as if the ship is teaching us. Look at this sequence. It's showing how to harness energy from stars, and it's simple enough that we can understand the principle. Not the entire technology, but the basic idea." Emma nodded. "That's the genius of it. It's not just giving us technology, it's giving us knowledge we can build upon. It's preparing us to grow, not just copy what it has." As they explored further, they entered a chamber that seemed more organic than mechanical. The walls pulsed softly, and the floor felt alive under their feet. Symbols floated in the air, shifting into images of life forms, plants, and creatures from different worlds. Alex felt as if the ship was showing them the diversity of life in the galaxy and how fragile it all was. Lisa reached out to one of the symbols, and a holographic figure appeared. This one was different from the last. It was more detailed, humanoid, but clearly alien. Its eyes glowed faintly, and it began to project a series of images that told a story. Alex watched closely. The story was about an ancient civilization that had traveled across galaxies, creating and guiding species, observing their development, and helping some survive while others failed. The aliens had tried to intervene directly in some cases, but those species often collapsed because they were not ready. The hologram emphasized the importance of adaptability, intelligence, and cooperation. Emma whispered, "They've done this before. They've tested other species, and only a few survived. We're seeing their lessons, their mistakes, and maybe their successes. And they left this ship for us because they believe humans can continue what others could not." John was studying the figure closely. "It's incredible. They didn't just build technology, they built a method of teaching, observing, and testing. This ship is like a classroom, a laboratory, and a library all in one." Kevin pointed at the symbols that surrounded the figure. "Look at this part. It's showing human DNA alongside the aliens' data. They studied us before we even existed in this form. They predicted our potential." Alex felt a wave of amazement. "They saw us coming. They planned for us. And now we are here at the point where they can teach us directly. That's why the ship opened for us." The team spent hours interacting with the holograms, learning about energy systems, survival techniques, and even ways to understand other civilizations. The knowledge was overwhelming, but it was structured in a way humans could gradually comprehend. Each discovery led to more questions, more experiments, and more understanding. Lisa discovered a series of simulations that allowed them to test ideas safely. By interacting with the holographic systems, They could experiment with energy flows, structures, and problem-solving without causing harm. The ship was teaching them not just facts, but critical thinking, adaptability, and creativity. Emma noticed a sequence that seemed to focus on human behavior. "They're showing us what makes humans different," she said. "Curiosity, cooperation, persistence. That's why we survived when other species failed. They're telling us that we have potential that even we don't fully understand yet," John added, "and that's probably why they left this ship for us, to unlock that potential to help us grow faster than we could on our own." Kevin nodded. "We're not just exploring. We're being trained, and we're only at the beginning." Alex looked around at the team. Each of them was deeply engaged, learning, experimenting, and slowly understanding the scope of the ship. He realized that this was not just about technology, it was about humanity's place in the universe. As they moved deeper into the ship, they entered a chamber filled with a soft blue light. In the center was a platform covered with a thin layer of mist. When Alex stepped closer, the mist cleared, revealing a series of symbols that seemed to float in midair. The symbols reacted to his presence, shifting into shapes that were almost recognizable. Emma stepped forward, placing her hand near the symbols. Instantly, a holographic archive activated. Pages of information floated in the air, showing star maps, energy systems, biological data, and more. Alex realized that this chamber was a central archive, containing the most detailed knowledge the ship could provide. John examined the archive. "This is beyond anything we could imagine. Every detail of their civilization, their methods, their experiments, it's all here, and they're sharing it with us." Lisa added, "It's like they trusted us. They believed that humans could understand and use this knowledge wisely, and they designed it so we could learn gradually, step by step." Alex felt a sense of responsibility he had never experienced before. "We have to be careful. This knowledge could change everything on Earth. We must learn it fully before we decide how to share it." Emma nodded. "And we must understand what they expect from us. This ship is not just a gift, it's a guide. We need to follow it carefully." The team spent days in the archive, exploring every holographic page, testing ideas, and learning the principles behind the alien technology. They discovered energy systems that could power entire cities, methods to travel long distances in space, and techniques to sustain life in harsh environments. Every discovery was designed to teach, not just to give answers. Kevin noticed a hidden section in the archive. "This part is different. It's showing something about humans specifically, our history, our evolution, our potential. It's as if they knew we would be here one day." Alex studied the section carefully. The holograms showed humans in small groups, surviving in difficult environments, solving problems, and cooperating. The ship emphasized the importance of human traits: curiosity, adaptability, and resilience. It suggested that these qualities were rare in the galaxy and had allowed humans to survive and grow where others had failed. Emma whispered, "They left this ship because they believed in us. They knew we could reach this point." John added, "And now it's up to us to use what we learn wisely. The ship has given us tools, knowledge, and guidance, but it's still a test. How we use it will determine our future." Alex looked around at the team, each person absorbed in their work. He realized that humanity was on the brink of something extraordinary. This ship had been waiting for them for thousands of years, a silent teacher in the ice, ready to guide them into the universe. As they prepared to leave the chamber, the ship pulsed softly, almost as if it were acknowledging their progress. Alex felt a deep sense of connection with it. The ship was not just an object, it was a mentor, a guardian, and a key to humanity's future. And as they moved forward, deeper into the unknown sections of the ship, they knew that the real secrets were still ahead. The ship had chosen them, and now it was their task to rise to the challenge, to understand and to grow. Humanity's journey into the stars had only just begun. The team moved deeper into the ship, and with each step, Alex Carter felt the weight of responsibility growing heavier. They had already discovered more than anyone had imagined possible. The ship was not just a machine, it was alive in a way humans could barely understand. It guided them, tested them, and shared knowledge piece by piece. But now they were beginning to sense that the ship's purpose went beyond teaching. They were on the verge of understanding its real goal. Emma Brooks led the way through a wide corridor that curved smoothly on all sides. The walls glowed faintly, responding to her presence. The air was warm and pleasant, but it carried a strange energy that made the hairs on the back of their necks stand on end. "It's like the ship knows we're ready for the next stage," she said quietly. John Miller checked the energy readings. "The levels are higher here. Whatever is ahead, it's important. The ship is concentrating its power in this area." Lisa Grant adjusted her tablet, scanning the surroundings. "It's almost like the ship is preparing us, not for danger, but for understanding. It's giving us tools we don't even know we'll need yet." Kevin Ross moved carefully, his survey instruments picking up subtle vibrations beneath their feet. "The corridors are changing again. They're becoming more open, almost organic. It's as if the ship itself is alive and breathing around us." Alex nodded. "We have to stay focused. We're learning, yes, but we also need to understand the bigger picture. The ship isn't just showing us technology, it's showing us what humanity can become." They entered a chamber larger than any they had seen before. The ceiling arched high, and the walls shimmered with a soft, blue light. In the center was a circular platform surrounded by floating symbols. When they stepped closer, the symbols began to shift, forming patterns that suggested meaning. Alex felt an instinctive understanding of what they were seeing, as if the ship itself was teaching him silently. Emma reached out, and the symbols responded, rearranging themselves into a series of holographic images. They showed humans in different situations, building shelters, navigating harsh environments, solving problems together. The images moved through time, showing humanity's evolution, its struggles, and its growth. Lisa studied the holograms carefully. "The ship is showing us why humans survived when other species failed. It's our cooperation, curiosity, and resilience. Those are the traits that set us apart." John nodded. "And it's showing us how to build on those traits, not just survive but thrive. That's the real lesson here." Kevin pointed at a section of the holograms. "Look at this part. It's showing energy systems, construction methods, and tools we can understand. They're not just giving us the technology, they're teaching us how to think, how to innovate." Alex felt a shiver run down his spine. "This is more than knowledge, it's a test. We've passed the first stages by being curious and careful. Now the ship is preparing us to take the next step. We're being asked to grow." As they explored further, they entered a corridor that seemed different from all the others. The walls pulsed with energy, and soft lights guided their way. Symbols floated in the air, almost like whispers, forming patterns that the team slowly began to understand. Alex realized that the ship was guiding them, showing them the way forward but not forcing them. They had to choose to follow, to engage, to learn. Emma reached a small platform on the side. When she touched it, a holographic figure appeared. It was humanoid but clearly alien, with flowing features and glowing eyes. It did not speak, but images projected from it, showing advanced civilizations, spaceships traveling between stars, and energy systems that were beyond human imagination. "This is incredible," Emma whispered. "It's showing us the universe and our place in it. Humans are small, yes, but capable. That's why the ship opened for us." John studied the figure. "It's not just teaching, it's sharing experience. It's showing us what works, what fails, and what we can do differently. It's a guide for survival and growth on a galactic scale." Lisa looked at the symbols surrounding the figure. "And it's designed for us specifically. It adapts to our understanding. When we learn something, it reacts. It's a living teaching system." Kevin stepped back, taking in the full scene. "This isn't just about technology or knowledge. It's about humanity. The ship sees our potential. It's showing us that we can rise above other species that failed because we can think, adapt, and cooperate." Alex felt a surge of pride mixed with fear. "We have a responsibility now. This isn't just a discovery. It's a challenge. How we use what we learn will shape the future of humanity." The team continued through the ship, entering chambers that seemed to serve as laboratories and classrooms. They discovered devices that allowed them to experiment safely with energy, materials, and simulations of different environments. Each device responded to their touch, adjusting to their understanding, guiding them toward new insights. Emma was fascinated by one device that created holographic models of planets. "It's showing us how to build and sustain life in different conditions. Look at this. We can learn about ecosystems, weather, even energy distribution. It's all designed to teach us." John nodded. "And it's not just giving us answers. It's teaching us to solve problems ourselves. That's the most important lesson." Lisa discovered a simulation that involved complex energy systems. By interacting with it, she realized how to generate power from sources that Earth had never used before. The ship guided her, but she had to think critically and make decisions. Each success unlocked more knowledge, each mistake taught a lesson. Kevin explored a chamber filled with floating platforms and holographic symbols. He realized that the ship was showing them the history of other civilizations it had observed. Some had thrived, using their intelligence and cooperation wisely. Others had failed, succumbing to greed, laziness, or inability to adapt. The message was clear: knowledge alone was not enough. It had to be applied wisely. Alex gathered the team together. We're not just exploring, we're learning what it means to survive and grow as a species. The ship is preparing us for something bigger than ourselves. We need to understand everything carefully before we make decisions about what to do next. Emma nodded. And it's showing us that humans have traits that other species didn't. Curiosity, cooperation, resilience. That's why we were chosen, John added. And now we have to use what we learn. We can't just take this knowledge back to Earth and hope for the best. We have to think about how to apply it carefully and responsibly. Lisa studied the symbols around them. The ship is teaching us how to be leaders, not just survivors. It's showing us the principles of growth, exploration, and understanding. If we follow these lessons, humanity could rise to a level no one imagined. Kevin looked at the holographic archives. And it's all connected. Technology, biology, history, energy, everything is part of the same system. The ship is showing us that we can grow as a civilization, not just as individuals. That's why it's alive, why it reacts to us. It's part of our evolution. Alex felt a deep sense of awe. We've been given a gift and a responsibility. The ship has chosen us, but it won't do the work for us. We have to understand, learn, and apply. And that means thinking carefully, cooperating, and using our intelligence. As they continued, they entered another chamber filled with floating lights and symbols. This room felt different, more personal, more connected to humanity. The ship projected images of Earth, showing humans exploring, building, and surviving. It highlighted the potential of the species, emphasizing traits like creativity, cooperation, and problem-solving. Emma whispered, "It's reminding us why humans survived. We're not the strongest, not the fastest, but we adapt, we cooperate, and we think." That's why the ship opened for us. John studied the energy flows in the room, and it's showing us how to use our abilities wisely. This is a roadmap not just for survival, but for growth, exploration, and understanding. Lisa nodded. The ship is teaching us to be responsible. It's giving us tools, knowledge, and guidance, but it's up to us to use it wisely. That's the real challenge. Kevin added, and it's showing us the consequences of failure. Other species failed because they misused knowledge, ignored cooperation, or couldn't adapt. We have to learn from that. Alex looked at the team. Each of them was absorbed in the lessons, experimenting with the devices, and learning from the holographic archives. He realized that humanity was at a turning point. The ship had been waiting for them for thousands of years, preparing them to take the next step. As they prepared to leave the chamber, the ship pulsed softly, almost as if it were acknowledging their progress. Alex felt a connection with it, a sense of understanding that went beyond words. The ship was alive, yes, but it was also a mentor, a guide, and a test. Emma looked at him. "Do you think we're ready for the next stage?" Alex thought for a moment. "We're learning, we're growing. And the ship will continue to guide us. But the real challenge is still ahead. We have to use what we've learned wisely. That's the true test." As they moved forward, deeper into the unknown chambers of the ship, they knew that the lessons they had learned so far were only the beginning. The ship had revealed humanity's potential, shown them the way forward, and prepared them for a future that no one on Earth could imagine. And as they stepped into the next chamber, glowing softly with alien light, they felt it in their bones. The real purpose of the ship and their role in shaping the future was about to be revealed. The team moved cautiously into the final chamber. It was the largest space they had seen inside the ship, vast and circular, with a soft golden light that seemed to fill the air with warmth. The walls glimmered like liquid metal, and holographic symbols floated freely, shifting in patterns that seemed alive. Alex Carter felt a pulse beneath his feet, as if the ship itself were welcoming them to the end of their journey. Emma Brooks whispered, "This feels different, more important than anything we've seen before." John Miller scanned the room. "The energy here is immense but stable. Whatever the ship wants to show us, it's ready, and so are we, I think." Lisa Grant adjusted her tablet, tracking the flow of energy. It's like the ship is converging all the lessons we've learned into one final message. Everything leads here. Kevin Ross moved carefully along the edge of the chamber, observing the glowing walls. I've never felt anything like this. It's not just energy, it's awareness. It knows we're here and it's waiting for us to understand. Alex nodded, taking a deep breath. Then let's be ready. This is what we came for. Whatever it's about, it will change humanity forever. They stepped toward the center of the chamber, where a large platform hovered slightly above the floor. The symbols surrounding it shifted into intricate patterns, slowly forming shapes that the team recognized as star systems, planets, and civilizations. Alex realized that the ship was showing them the galaxy, not just as it was, but as it had been observed over thousands of years. Emma leaned closer. It's showing the rise and fall of civilizations. Some thrive, some fail, and some disappear entirely. The ship knows it all. John pointed at a cluster of lights near a small, blue planet. That's Earth, and those flickering lights are humans. The ship has been tracking us, studying our progress, waiting for this moment. Lisa nodded. It's not just showing us history, it's showing potential. And it's highlighting humans because we're ready for the next step. Kevin added quietly, we're not just observers anymore, we're part of something bigger. The ship has chosen us to continue this story. Alex felt a mix of pride and fear. We've been given a gift and a responsibility. This chamber, this ship, it's all about preparing us. But for what? As they stood in the center, the holographic symbols began to merge, forming a giant figure in the air. It was humanoid, tall and luminous, with flowing features and eyes that glowed softly. Unlike the previous holograms, this one seemed more real, more alive, and it radiated a sense of calm authority. Emma gasped. It's welcoming us, or maybe acknowledging us. John's voice was hushed. It's communicating, but not with words. We feel its meaning. It's showing us that we are ready, that we've learned enough to understand the purpose. Lisa studied the figure closely. It's showing a vision of the universe. Entire civilizations, stars, and galaxies interconnected. And it's pointing toward Earth, toward humans. We're being invited to take our place among them. Kevin whispered, this is the message. This is why the ship exists. It's not just a library or a teacher, it's a signal. A call to humanity. Alex stepped forward, feeling the weight of the moment. The figure projected images of humans exploring, cooperating, and creating. It emphasized traits like curiosity, resilience, and intelligence. It was as if the ship were showing them the reasons humanity had survived and grown where other species had failed. Emma's eyes shone with understanding. We survived because we adapt, because we work together, and because we think. The ship is showing us that we are capable of more than we ever imagined, John added, and it's giving us the tools to grow, not just technology, but understanding, principles, and guidance. It's preparing us to face the universe responsibly. Lisa nodded. It's telling us that knowledge alone isn't enough. We need wisdom, cooperation, and the courage to make decisions. That's the final lesson. Kevin stepped closer to the holographic figure, and it's showing consequences. Civilizations that failed did so because they misused knowledge, ignored cooperation, or couldn't adapt. The message is clear. We must learn from others, or we may fail too. Alex felt a deep sense of responsibility pressing on him. This is our chance and our test. We have to use what we've learned wisely. Everything the ship has given us is meant to prepare us for the next stage of humanity. The figure then projected a massive image of the galaxy, showing countless civilizations and star systems. A beam of light connected Earth to other worlds, highlighting paths humans could take. Alex realized that this was an invitation to explore, to expand, and to join a greater community of intelligent species. Emma whispered, we're being offered a place among the stars, not because we demand it, but because we earned it. The ship believes in us. John studied the projection, and it's showing how to do it responsibly. Not by conquering or dominating, but by cooperating, learning, and growing. That's the true purpose of the ship. Lisa reached out, touching one of the floating symbols. Immediately, a wave of understanding passed through her mind. She saw the lessons of other species, the dangers of arrogance, and the potential of humans if they applied their intelligence wisely. It's giving us insight into the future, not a fixed path, but guidance. We can shape our destiny. Kevin's eyes were wide. It's showing that humans can rise above challenges, but only if we continue to cooperate, explore, and innovate. That's why we're here. That's why the ship opened for us. Alex felt a surge of hope and determination. Then we take what we've learned and use it. We can't waste this opportunity. Humanity can grow, explore, and become a part of the universe in a way no one imagined. The ship pulsed softly, as if acknowledging his words. The holographic figure seemed to nod, its glowing eyes radiating approval. The energy in the room grew warmer, enveloping the team in a sense of calm and purpose. Emma looked at Alex, her face filled with wonder. "Do you think we're ready?" Alex smiled, feeling the weight of the moment, but also the excitement. "We're as ready as we'll ever be. The ship has guided us, taught us, and prepared us. Now it's up to us to take the next step." The holographic figure projected one final image, a message that stretched across the chamber, glowing in golden light. Words were not used. Instead, the message was felt, understood directly in their minds. It said that humanity had reached a threshold. They had demonstrated curiosity, resilience, intelligence, and cooperation, the qualities necessary to survive and thrive among the stars. The ship declared to the galaxy that humans were no longer a primitive species, no longer bound to Earth alone. It announced that humanity had been chosen to join the community of intelligent civilizations, not as conquerors, but as equals. Alex felt a lump in his throat. This is beyond anything we could have imagined. We're part of something much bigger now. Humanity is being recognized. Emma nodded, tears in her eyes. All our struggles, all our survival, it led to this moment. We've been prepared for this without even knowing it. John added, and it's a responsibility. We can't take this lightly. How we grow and act now will define humanity for generations. Lisa looked around at the team. We've been chosen to continue to learn, to explore, and to guide others someday. That's why the ship exists. It's not just knowledge, it's a path. Kevin stepped forward, touching the center of the platform. The ship responded, and a map of the galaxy expanded around them, showing potential pathways, resources, and allies. Alex realized that humanity was now connected to the wider universe, and it was up to them to take the next steps wisely. Alex spoke quietly but firmly. This is our chance to rise, to grow, to explore, to be the species the ship believes we can become. We have to honor it, and we have to do it together. The team stood silently for a moment, absorbing the enormity of the revelation. They had discovered the ship, learned its lessons, and now understood its purpose. Humanity had been tested and prepared for something greater than themselves. Emma whispered, "The universe is waiting for us, and now we're ready." John smiled. "It's time to take what we've learned back to Earth, to share it wisely, and to prepare for the future." The ship gave us guidance, but now it's up to us to act. Lisa nodded. "We have a responsibility to humanity, to the galaxy, and to the civilizations that came before us. We can't fail," Kevin added, "and we won't. We've learned too much and we've seen too far. The ship has shown us what's possible, and now we carry that knowledge forward." Alex looked around at his team, feeling hope, determination, and pride. The ship had prepared them for this moment, but the journey was just beginning. Humanity had been chosen, not because it demanded it, but because it had earned it. And now it was time to take their place among the stars. The golden light of the chamber enveloped them, warm and alive. The ship pulsed with approval, and the symbols floated around them like a river of knowledge. Alex took a deep breath, knowing that the discovery of the ship had not just revealed advanced technology, it had revealed humanity's true potential. The Arctic ice above them was still, quiet, and cold. But beneath it, humanity's future had begun. The ship had chosen them, guided them, and shown them a path. Now it was up to Alex, Emma, John, Lisa, Kevin, and all of humanity to take the next step. And for the first time, humans truly understood that they were not alone. They were part of a greater universe, capable of rising, exploring, and shaping their destiny. The ship had awakened them, and the galaxy would never be the same again.